Good day, I am Emmanuel Guy Clemente, and in this video, I will be discussing Surrealism and its historical context, as well as the significant figures behind it as an art movement. For this presentation, as you can notice, we are starring Salvador Dali as the canon for my presentation on Surrealism, as I grew fond of his works and I see him as an iconic figure whenever I think of Surrealism. Now, what is Surrealism? Surrealism, known for its dreamlike visuals and bizarre scenes, is an artistic movement focused on expressing the subconscious and juxtaposing irrational imagery. What does this mean? This means that surrealists aim to delve into the mind's depths, breaking free from logical constraints to explore and visualize the illogical and the fantastical, creating artworks that defy logical interpretations and provoke a visceral response from the viewer. Originating in the 1920s in Paris, it rejects the constraints of rationality in favor of an uninhibited reality. This exploration was aimed at accessing a deeper truth hidden within the human mind, influenced by theories of the unconscious and dreams. So here's an example of surrealism starring Salvador Dali. This is the soft construction with boiled beams, which is a premonition of civil war in 1936. The painting metaphorically depicts the self-destruction of civil conflict, anticipating the Spanish Civil War, hence Dali's cry against the Civil War. The painting features a grotesque, disjointed figure that appears to be tearing itself apart, symbolizing the internal strife of a nation consuming itself. The artwork also juxtaposes the softness of boiled beans, which is a staple in Spanish cuisine, with the violent dismemberment of the figure highlighting the absurdity and tragedy of war. Dali's use of surreal techniques emphasizes the irrational nature of civil strife and the deep personal and political turmoil it represents. The anguish and disruption depicted in Dali's painting echoes the broader disruptions in society that also gave rise to surrealism, beginning with the impact of World War I, which is one of the key factors that led to the surrealism movement. The trauma and disillusionment brought about by World War I fostered skepticism of traditional values, which paved the way for new artistic expressions that challenge reality. Second on the list is Sigmund Freud's psychoanalysis. His exploration of the unconscious mind influenced surrealists to use art as a means to unveil the hidden desires and fears of the subconscious. And third is the influence of the Dada movement. Dada, with its irreverence and rejection of conventional art, it paved the way for surrealism, which adopted a more organized approach but remained equally radical. While Dada focused on chaos and anti-art to criticize cultural norms, surrealism used similar radicalness to delve deeper into the human psyche, exploring dreams and subconscious through structured artistic methods. Though in every movement brings its own challenges, here are the socio-political issues that arose with it. The anti-war sentiments. Surrealists used their art to protest against war, aligning with the broader anti-war stance prevalent among many artists and intellectuals. Secondly is the resistance against fascism and Nazism. Surrealists actively opposed the rise of fascist and Nazi regimes, using their artwork as a form of political protest against these oppressive governments. And lastly is the alignment with communist and socialist movements. Many in the Surrealist movement supported leftist political ideologies, believing that these radical approaches were necessary for true societal change. Moving on, here are some of the famous significant artists with their iconic works in the background. First, we have here Salvador Dali and his painting of The Persistence of Memory in 1931. Known for his striking and bizarre images, Dali's work explores complex psychological themes, making the irrational visible in his creations. The one in the middle is Rene Magritte with his famous painting of The Son of Man in 1964. Magritte's art turns the ordinary into the extraordinary, challenging viewers' perceptions of reality with simple yet surreal juxtapositions. And the one here on the right is André Breton with his famous work of Egg in the Church or The Snake in 1932. As the principal theorist of surrealism, his writings such as the Surrealist Manifestos outlined the movement's goals and methods, promoting artistic freedom and exploration beyond traditional boundaries. Breton's leadership and intellectual contributions established him as the central figure in defining surrealism's direction, influencing not just art, but also literature and culture broadly. Now, in this slide, we can see surrealism creations in which we are familiar with, mainly in forms of painting, sculpture, and photography. So we have here some of the well-known paintings. You may have already seen or heard of this before. This is The Persistence of Memory by Salvador Dali and another one of his works, along with The Son of Man by Rene Magritte. And in this section, We have the sculpture of the lobster telephone, again by Salvador Dali, the object by Merit Oppenheim, and the marine object by Eileen Agar. And last on the list is the medium of photography. Here we have Taylor's Dummy by Florence Henry, Jeton Lebras, which means I Mow My Arm by Claude Cahun, and lastly, La Queue de Verre, which translates to The Glass Key by René Magritte. Though surrealism extends beyond the prevalent art forms or mediums in terms of painting, sculpture, and photography, the influence of surrealism in the modern contemporary world persists in various forms, including installation art and film, showcasing its lasting impact on visual culture. Now, that is all for this presentation. Thank you for watching.